Hello guys, most welcome in UPSC Welfare channel. As we know that this is a third video tutorial of your general comprehension, simultaneously English comprehension also. So let's attempt. So firstly we will read and then we will try to attempt the question according to the quarter of the questions on the basis of only passes. So biomass is the fuel for the power generation, heat and the transport, as the highest mitigation the potential of all the renewable energy sources, and they come from the agriculture and for the residuals, as well as you know that is the from energy crops. The biggest challenge is the using biomass and residuals in long term. The renewable supply drives to deliberate to the power of the plants at the renewable. The cost and the key the problem are logistical constant, and the cost of the fuel, the collection energy crops, if not the managed properly, compete with the food production. Yes, may have undesirable impacts on the food price. Food the price and the biomass the production is also sensitive to the physical impacts of the climate change. So, second paragraph, what is it saying? See, is the projection of the future of the role of the biomass are the probably or estimated the given the limit to the sustainable biomass supply unless breakthrough the technology substantially the increase the product in the climate and climate energy the model the projection that the biomass used could increase the nearly fold to the around 150 to 200 hectojoules. Yes, the almost in the quarter of the two the world the prime the energy in 2050 the hour the maximum substance sustainable the sustainable technical the potential of the biomass the resources both residuals or the energy crops and the without disruption the fourth and the first the resource and the range from the 80 to 170 hectojoules a year by 2050. The only the biomass only, as we know, the biomass and the only the part of this here now only part of this realistically and economically feasible. In addition, some climate model is rely on the biomass based on the carbon capture and the sources and proven technologies to achieve negative emissions. Yes, see, storage and unproven technology to achieve the negative emissions and to the by sometime during the first half of the century. Last, the paragraphs that some of the liquid biofuels such as the corn, the basin, the ethanol, the manifold, transport the aggravate the other than is ordered the carbon emission. Yes, on the life cycle the best is second generation biofuels so the best on yes ligno shallow low significant stocks such as the straw straw, bagaces, the grass, wood, hold the promise of especially see promise of the promise of the sustainable production that is highly emit low level of the greenhouse gases, but these are still in the research and development stage. So the question is which is what is the present constant? Yes, constant is using the biomass, the fuels, biomass as the fuel for the power generation. What are the constant here? Asking a third, my dear. Let's say 41. Lack of the sustainable supply of the supply of the biomass. Definitely, we have lack of the sustainable supply. Definitely, we is also the mention the biomass, the production, the compete with the food production, and you know that bioenergy may not always be low carbon on a life cycle basis. That is also the mentioned here. So all are is going to be correct. Now next the question is here, see which one of the following can lead the food security problem. Using agriculture and the forest residuals as feedstock for the power generation then can lead? No, that's not the mention here, because if we go for the sustainable development and good strategy, that will not lead. Yes, because we need also energy. So definitely one is going to go on here. Now we using biomass for carbon capture and storage. No, that is not the mention here also. So definitely 3 is going to be a no doubt here. 3 will be absolutely, and by elimination method also you will go. Then definitely you know that 3 is going to be so 3 here will be the correct elimination method. Then by elimination method you will have the difficult here, because you have to know that of course what is the theme of the passage, that because here they clearly mentioned that especially if the promoting of the cultivation of the energy, that will really lead to your the food. Why there was a starvation in the history? We have read that due to indigo plantation, you know, that's by enforcement of the British people. Why there was a hunger strike was started by the Gandhi. Because of that, as you know, in the Champaran Satyagraha, you will know that especially what was the reason that of what was the situation of the peasant in that area. So the Gandhiji started to go with the Champaran Satyagraha. So because of you know this is not especially I am the correlated of it, but I am trying to convince you that especially of course the promoting the cultivation of, if we the trying to the promote of that, definitely that will insecure your the food security, definitely, because you know rapid population is expansion in the India nowadays. So if you the target for the sustainable the growth, and then definitely by 2050, imagine that more than 2 billion population will be of in this country, and water, and you know that the natural resources is in a limit. So definitely you have to be, how can I promote food? Definitely this will lead to a, so here the only one will be 3 here, the election, that is going to be appropriate answer option. That's next questions. For 3 number of the question, let's see in the context option, the using the biomass, the which of the following is are the characteristic, as we know, the characteristic of the system of the production of biofuels. See, biomass is the fuel for power generation, could meet all the primary energy requirements of the world by all. Here, see, such a word, if you are going to confuse, then you have to get, of course, risk here that 85% will be wrong. So definitely 50%, why don't you get the chance here? So one is going to be wrong. So if you go for attempting by elimination method, if we elected the wrong one, so definitely now you have a 50-50. There is no doubt that 3 is going to be absolutely correct here. So the biomass of the fuel for the power generation doesn't necessarily disturb the food and forest resources. No, it's not the mention. If until unless we don't, you know, that impose the necessary technology, definitely that will impact. So all the my dears in here, 2 is going to be also wrong, so 3 will be appropriate here. So only we will go for the 3 option is going to be the correct in here. Now with reference to the passage, the following generation have maps and that some the climate energy more or less suggestion that use of the biomass as the fuels for the power generation helping the mitigating some climate energy model. So some, you know, definitely 85% chances will be wrong, definitely. And secondly, it is not the possible to it's not the possible to use the biomass as the fuels for power generation without disturbing the food and the forest resources. No, if we use the implement, you know, necessary technology, that will not, definitely that will not disrupt the food and use the forest resources. So definitely here both are going to wrong, so we have to choose a D. Next, the comprehension, we are witnessing other dangers and dwindling of the biodiversity. Dwindling, we know that decreasing, just, you know, decreasing. So we are, yes, we are witnessing the dangers dwindling the biodiversity now with the food the supply. And the green revolution is the mixed blessing. Yes, over the time, the farmer, the how come to rely the heavily on. Sorry, see the farmer. Sorry for the pronunciation, my dears. I was in that's why especially over the time is the farmer have come to rely the heavily on, boldly adopted is the holding the crops to the exclusion of the variety of the adapted to the local condition and the monocrop in the basket field is with the same genetically uniform seed in the healthy burst is yield and the meat immediate the hunger needs. Yet the high yield of the variety are the also genetically weaker the crops that require expensive chemical fertilizer and the toxic pesticide. In our focus on increasing the amount of food we produce today, yes, we have accidentally put ourselves at the risk for the food shortage in the future. So which one is going to be the most logical and the critical in the finance and this kind of matter from the passes the material. Now the agriculture practices we have become the highly dependent on the expense of the chemical fertilizer and the toxic in the practice only due to the green revolution. Do you think so that? No, that is not the mention here that in the comprehensions. Monocrop in the past yieldings will be the high. Yield the bright is responsible due to the green revolution. No. Monocrop will be the high yielding the bright is the only the way to ensure the food security to the millions of people. No, that is not the mention. So green revolution can pose the two of the threat to the biodiversity in the of course biodiversity in the food supply and security in a long run, definitely. So no doubt here, there shouldn't be doubt. So D is going to be the correction here. That's the comprehension. Let's see. We have the 8 passages in this series. So see, here the comprehension is the comes from the competition and the transparency. If you the planning to the making, if you the planning to the make the effective administration in your area, what kind of the strategy can be taken to the value to the make the transparency and what kind of the policy you will adopt to that will assist to make the transparency in that. So see here, good statement is given by UPSC examiner. By killing transparency and competition, crony capitalism is harmful to the free enterprises opportunity and economy growth. Crony capitalism, where the rich and the influential elect to have the receive land and natural resources, various licenses in the return of payoff to banal politician. What is going to be the banal politician means? Yes, corrupt politicians. As we know that is now also the major issues to be the trackers. Major issue to be the trackers. One of the greatest dangers to be the cross of the developing economy like India is middle income traps where the crony capitalism create of course oligarchies that slow down the growth. So what can be here asking the most logical corollary, most logical consequences, most logical result to the passes. What will be that? See, my dear, here that is a most logical corollary is launching the more the welfare the scheme and allocating more finances for the current the scheme are urgently needed. No, that is not the mention. Otherwise that we cannot corollary. Yes, the fourth should be the math to the post the economy the growth by other. No, that wouldn't be, because we have to go for transparency means of course we have to go for the financial inclusion, sustainable growth, of course. So greater transparency in the functioning of the government and the promoting the financial inclusion, of course, are needed at the present. Definitely we show the concentrated more developing manufacturing sector on the second. That is not going to be we have to make the transparency there. So definitely C will be the correction here. Now next the comprehensions. Climate adaptations. The climate changes that can be tackled via two methods. Yes, the first method is that adaptation, second is your mitigation. So here climate adaptation may be rendered ineffective if the policy are not designed in the context. So here of the other development concerned for instance, for instance means for example, my dear, the comprehensive strategies that seek to yes ameliorate the improve the reform to the agriculture, yes extension the crops diversification, yes diversification, integrated here water and the pest management, agriculture, the information service. Some of these the measure may have to do with the climate, the changes, and other with economy development. So, what is the most logical, the rational inference in that kind of the matter from that the passage is going to be a. So it is difficult to pursue the climate adaptation in the developing country. Not to mention, my dear, yes, improving the food security is far more complex the issue than climate adaptation. No, every development activities are directly or indirectly linked to the climate adaptation. Climate adaptation should be examined in, of course, tandem with other economy development. Definitely we need a, we need a development at any cost, but we have to not especially disrupt of also especially the environment, and that will impact on the health. So what is the advantage to that especially development in that indirect way? Yes, the impact on our health, and our health minister is expanding the huge amount on public health welfare. So definitely, my dears, we have to go for the climate adaptation sort of the examining the tandem with the other, of course, in the economic development. So definitely, the corollary, the most logical, if you think, then definitely they will be correct. Now, next the comprehension. See, understanding the role of the biodiversity, my dears. In a hydrological cycle, see, for example, in the hydrological cycle enable the better the policy the making. Yes, the term the biodiversity refers here. See, refers to the variety of the plants and the animals and the microorganism and the ecosystem in base they occur. The water and the biodiversity, of course, interdependent. In reality, the hydrological cycle decides how the biodiversity functions. In turn, the vegetation role travels from the movement of other organisms. Water, and every glass of the water we drink has at least in the part, yes, the pass through fish, tree, bacteria, soil, yes, and other organisms. The passing through these ecosystem is cleansed and the matter fits for the consumption. The supply of the water is, as we know, the critical service that environment provides. Definitely, my dears, of course. How can I forget the obligation of the environment? Definitely, we have to. This is our accountability and the responsibility to the conserve the environment. Definitely, which are the polluting gradually. So now here the most logical inference only one that we have to choose the here, which will be very well. So the biodiversity sustained for the ability of the nature to recycle to the water. Definitely, no doubt, because we have to go for. We will use, of course, definitely we have to go for the development, but we have to go for the also biodiversity, the sustenance, and the ability to the nature, the recycle of the water. Because if we go for the sustainable development, then definitely this will not, disrupt much and impact on the environment, climate changes. So definitely A is going to be the correct in here. Now, next the comprehension in the last decade. In the last decade, one decade is 10 years, my dear. So the banking sector has been restructured, as we know, with a high degree of the autonomous and product. There the mainly, 8 core banking system. The core banking system. Sorry, the very well that. So in the last decade, the banking system has been restructured with the high degree of the autonomous and the product. Here's the product and the mainly the serve the middle the class and upper the middle the class the society. Today there is a need for the new agenda for. And the banking and banking defines a service that doesn't exclude the common man, my dears. They included the all man. So definitely, my dears, the what will be appropriate. Of course, the banking is the trying to the finance and inclusion. Definitely, yes, that's new agenda. What will be here? The financial inclusion. What nowadays, that Modi is trying to also the focus on the financial inclusion by, is in the account. So definitely, the my dears. Here, which in following the most, no need to doubt, need to the promote the finance and inclusion is going to be definitely very easy to my dears. If you go through the newspaper daily, the Hindu newspaper, definitely this will give you less doubt to choose the answer. Now, next see, safe and the sustainable sanitation the slum has is immeasurable. So the benefits to the women and the girls in the terms of the health, the safety, of course, the privacy and dignity. In the Harvard, the women don't feature in the most of the scheme, the scheme and the policy on the urban sanitation. Remember that, my dear. And especially the mention here, the urban sanitation. You know, the fact that it depends on now, so the manual scheme banning means specify that the exist or the only or the goes to show that not enough has been done to promote is for flush toilet and discontinue the use of the dry latrines. So the most sustained and requires the company to be the launch toward the right of the sanitation, right to the sanitations. Sanitation that is going to be I mean the gandhi just becomes that on a very large scale. They should be primarily the focus on the abolition of the manual scavenging. But the writer is trying to convince that as a manual scavenging, you have to, of course, about that you have to give this give the awareness in the society that yes, of course, this can be manually scavenging. So definitely you have to use more and more the toilet or something that. So definitely here, what will be appropriate here is asking that following the consider the following in the statement, and that's which one is going to be a I am the statement is going to the course. The urban sanitation, the problem can be fully solved. Such kind of the fully, completely, that will be totally wrong. So definitely one is eliminated here. So only you have the choice to 50-50 or neither. So there is need to promote the greater awareness on the safe sanitation, the practice in the urban area. Definitely, my dear, the way it is has been the mentioned here. See now, a scheme and the policy on urban sanitation. Definitely, our third is the trying to, of course, that as the campaign to in the urban area and in the society that especially they will know that by of course the manual scavenging can be. Yes, you have the choice to go for that. So you can use for more and more the toilets. Definitely. So here, definitely it will be. And the 2 will be the correct in there. So no doubt, B will be here correct answer. Next, see. To understand the nature and the quantity of the government, the power of the for the man is necessary to the attention to the character. As the nature that created him before the social life, the sea fitted him for. Yes, the station. C intended in all the case the man his natural the wants the greater than his the individual the powers. No one the man is capable without aid of the society of the supplying his own wants. Those is the one acting upon the every individual they impel the whole of them into the society. So what will be the correct answer here? See, but the following the most logical yes, logical inference does kind of the matter. Nature has the created diversity in the human society. No, that is not diverse. Nature wants to force the man toward the social system. Definitely, it's D is going to be correct because diverse nature wants to force the man towards social system. Why it shows because the clear dimension, the comprehension here. See, individual impel whole of them into society. Definitely, see here. Without aid of the society of the supply is his own wants and those who wants acting upon every individual impel the whole of them into the society. So definitely that can be the correction there, my dears. Next, in the nature of the legal the imperative and the given the state the corresponding to effective demand that the state intercounter. The politics and economy is going to be definitely because see here the nature of the legal imperative is the given the state and the correspondent. Yes, the state corresponds to the effective demand that the state encounter. Yes, that these in their turn they depended in general way upon the manner in yes the ways in ways the economy powers distributed in the society which the state the control. So now see a statement reference to yes, and this is the policy in the economy. No, the politics and yes, the economy there is going to be a show predominance on the economy over the politics. No, that is not going to be a. So that will be also wrong. And 3 interrelations in the politics and there is the predominance of the politics of that is also not. So you have the choice of only one, that is going to be interrelationship of the politics and the economy. What will the relationship that is going to be? Of course, is the mentioned here. So this is all about the general comprehension 2016. Have the great time, my dears. If you like of my channels, definitely please you have to subscribe for motivating as well as to the encourage to me to make the more the video tutorials that will enhance to your building of the confidence while you're taking the paper. Thank you guys. Have a great time.